mics.
I had this. This guy hit a motorcycle accident, but he got hit, and the motorcycle got like stuck in the front end of the car. It was wild.
You guys good? Yeah.
Right.
That's looking good.
So we're all right. So
Let me get my notification here.
it should be up to share.
Just got it. All right. Where we at here?
Drop everything, yeah, left all my things when I hit the ring, can't help but think, of you, that pretty smile, your sex is now, like Vanessa Carlton, walk 1,000 miles, for you, stay chasing you, babe, everything for you, no question about it. Need me, I'll be there, no doubt about it. I say that honestly, a sense of urgency. Tender loving, yeah, you my TLC. Yeah, always thinking about you. Girl, you know I'm always thinking about you. Girl, like Mars, catch grenades for you. Girl, you have no clue the stuff I would do for you. Drop everything. Yeah, left all my things when I hit the ring, can't help but think, of you, that pretty smile, your sex is now, like Vanessa Carlton, walk 1,000 miles, for you, stay chasing you, babe, everything for you.
Like signed to like an arena league or something like that.
He might have showed his he might have showed his football picture or something. I don't
Oh.
know. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. That was Abson with For You, and Abson is actually going to be joining us today. He's actually doing a show right now. All right. Oh yeah, I have all the headphones turned down.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me a little better now?
Not yet.
Not
Now
yet?
I can. Now I can.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Cool.
cool. I know it's one of these knobs.
I was distressed.
You get so used to the headphones.
Yeah, I want to hear you. I want to hear what you have to say. I care.
Yeah, so he'll be in here. He's actually doing the show. He's putting in some work.
There you go.
And yeah. So for today, and once again on the Bench Podcast, we're available on all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. All right. Now, like I said, we have Abson coming in. We're going to be talking a little bit about his career, what he has going on, and we're going to be talking about that. He has a lot of good things going on. And outside of that, of course, we're going to get to some NBA playoffs. Okay. And everything that's going on. All NBA selections just dropped maybe like 30 minutes ago or an hour. So we'll talk about that fresh news. JayZ may have a son out here in the world. Tupac with the Dear Mama, that a lot of people are liking that biopic. We'll talk about a little bit about that. But Boosie, he seems to break the trending news at least once a month with a crazy comment. We'll talk about that. And
That's probably his biggest skill at this point in his career.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't make really good music anymore, it's not a bad lane to be in.
Just be a goofy take guy.
Yeah. It'll keep you trending, keep you hot, keep some money in your pockets.
That's right.
As long as you're not making stupid. As long as it's funny, man.
You
Just
hope
make
it's
it
funny.
Yeah,
you hope it's funny. Yeah.
You're gonna miss some.
Some hits and some
Some
misses.
hits and some misses.
There we go.
Speaking of, so we did the show last week and we talked about the dumb Curry LeBron thing that was going on in the social media and national TV, and there's two waves that happen when I drop the clip. The first wave is I drop the clip. It's early in the series. Curry has the big game. And then I have guys, Carvis. I don't mean to shot, but he's the guy that watches the show every week. But it's really literally not only just people that watch the show, but even then you get the random YouTubers and the random people that catch the wave of the IG, and they comment and they DM me. And first of all, we prefer you to comment on the post. On DM.
Exactly.
It helps I love that you're watching and that you're interested in what we're saying. But if you comment on the actual
DMs are reserved for other purposes.
Yeah,
wink,
seriously.
wink.
But they go to DM me and they're like, oh, you're wrong. And Curry he's really on that level and this and that, right? And then not much on the LeBron side, on the LeBron love side. And then the series takes a turn. And then you got the LeBron guys. They come and they comment, and especially on the YouTube, and then the DMs. You was right all along, man. And LeBron and Curry is nowhere near. And it's two sides to this, right? One side is that's a part of the reason why I hate like fair weather basketball fans, because when you talk legacy and how good a player is, it's not about game to game.
Yeah, that doesn't change game to game.
It doesn't change game to game.
Yeah.
So like my stance was my stance, even if Curry came out and averaged 80 points the next two games. My stance was my stance. And, and when the series turned, it's not about feeling vindicated that LeBron is somewhat whatever, because it just is what it is. That's why I feel it, and I feel it's true. But on the vindication part, right? When you take a look at how the series is turned between the Lakers and Golden State, okay, especially this last game. Now, I have two nuggets for you. I did some one is I did research on. The other is a stat that I came across while reading the article.
You didn't have to research it; it just came across.
That's right. But
wow,
you still get credit for it.
It's pretty fortunate.
Now, once again, I know Stephen Curry is an all-time great player. It's not a shit on him, but did you know that Curry is 0-0%, shooting 0% in the playoffs on potential go-ahead shots in the last 45 seconds in the fourth quarter and or overtime? That's a large sample size. And that's a large, not sample size, but a large, like 45 seconds is a long time. It's not like the last 3 seconds, 3, 2, 1, shoot a shot. Like 45 seconds is a huge chunk of a game when it's very close like that. And the greatest shooter of all time is shooting 0%. I have a point coming to this now.
I did see that stat on social media.
Yeah, that's the one. Right? Okay, now my research. Okay, but this is accurate, and also ESPN.com confirmed this. Just this last game, Curry didn't shoot the ball well, but he did have overall, like he was assisting the ball, something that Will Lee wants to give a shot at my every other show. But he is just very overly adamant that Steph Curry is not a point guard for whatever reason. I don't know why he was going so deep into that. But Curry really took on, first of all, the last two games, they put the ball more in his hand. That was an adjustment Steve Kerr made to kind of combat him coming off the screens and them doubling off the screens. They put the ball in Curry's hands more. So he was assisting the ball very well, seeing the floor very well, doing other things, rebounding outside of scoring the ball. But his defense. So Lakers players, first of all, they were like hunting, especially, it's been somewhat this series, but especially in Game 5, they were hunting Stephen Curry. Where the Lakers players averaged 1.67 points per possession. I mean, he scored every time. All right, when guarded by Steph, they shot over 75% from field goal range. All right, when guarded by Stephen Curry, that's a combination of Lonnie Walker, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves. All right, those were the main three guys on ball screens. Meaning, when one of those guys had the ball, whoever Steph was guarding, they asked for a screen so they can get Steph on him. And also, it's not really that Steph Curry was playing bad defense. He was there. But he's just not. He's not capable of playing defense well enough to change shots, to cause wreak havoc. And I didn't make this point last show, but that's part of my point. Like like you're not going to hunt a LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Kareem, and like you're not going to hunt the guys, the titans that are on the top. That's the term I used last week, a titan. Like that doesn't happen with those guys. And this has been something, a part of his career, that he's been like hunted. He's the hunted, and sometimes he prevails. Now, last game he failed, but a lot of times he does prevail when he is hunted. Especially over the last 3 or 4 years, his defense has really improved, and it had to, because earlier on in his career that was an issue as well. All right, but I think in the way the series has turned. But of course, Golden State, he needs some teammates to step up to the plate. They had some rough games.
Yeah. I mean, the stats are the stats. I mean, and he was hunted back in the Cavs series, when they won, and that's always been something that's there, and it's a valid argument that most of the other guys that are regarded in that highest level would not be in situations where they were hunted. No, that's really a good point, and that does. I mean, that's pretty impactful. I was surprised by the stat with the shooting.
I was really
in those clutch moments.
0%.
Yeah, that was really surprising. And again, you go back to the damn Cavs series, that they lost. He ended up with the ball in the final minute and struggled to get off any sort of quality shot. I mean, it was. Yeah, really fitting there. I mean, that the stats that. So,
and size has a lot to do with that. Shout out to the ladies who've been on the show and says that size matters.
Sure does. It's just playing elite two-way basketball and making it rain down low.
No, it just does, man.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But
that's why I feel bad for you.
Golden State, man, they have the pedigree to where it's 3-1, but you can't count them out.
You can't, but it just doesn't feel like
it feels different, right?
The Lakers have been very good. The Warriors have struggled to respond, and it's very apparent. I mean, Jordan Poole's played like crap. I mean, he's really played like crap. And what I think the thing behind that, though, is, and people are really starting to pile on it right now, there's some chemistry issues there.
Yeah.
Kuminga's been pouting the entire playoffs. Poole's been playing poorly and then pouting. They're not together. They're not connected. And it's ironically, the Warriors were one of the first teams where it really got on my radar. When they first rose to prominence as a title team, they took 1 million airplane photos. Like, you'd always see road trip, everybody in the picture, smiling, laughing, joking, fully connected team. And it's weird, from that moment forward, it's something I always look to, like when you have a team. Are these guys enjoy being around each other? Do they really care about each other and about what they're doing? Or are you divided with separate agendas? Right. And I think right now the Warriors are a divided team. And I don't know the exact cleavages that they have, but that's what makes me really believe they're not going to come out of this series, because they're a divided team. But it's held true. Like in other sports, the teams that like Philly this year in football, they just had a fun vibe about them.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't win the Super Bowl. They got to. I mean,
but the whole ride.
But yeah,
the whole ride
and like you can just kind of tell when you watch teams and how they interact with each other, if they care and if they're connected. And it's an underrated thing to have.
And you can't listen to the people as much as you have to really watch and know what to watch for.
Yeah.
Because things are moving so fast. I forgot that was the first game, the Jordan Poole shot. That was the game 1.
Yeah.
And after the game, you got whoever was asked, Draymond, Steph, Kerr, they're like, we're fine with that shot. He can make that shot. And as the series go on, you see his minutes decrease. You see his shots decrease.
But
it was 0 points.
It had built to that, and it didn't start in game 1. There were signs in the Sacramento series.
Yeah.
He didn't play well.
Right.
He shot poorly, and finally you get to this breaking point. But before that, and when you said you got to watch what they do and not what they say,
right.
You can feel a connected team. Connected teams, for better or worse, They have handshake routines. They, like they have bench dudes playing air guitar. Like it's all there, and like nobody misses a high five or any of that when somebody comes to the bench. And again, and I do think, what does the social media show you? Yeah. And if multiple players on a team are posting the flight home or some fun thing, that is a connected group. When you don't have any of that, and you have guys, because there was that one where like he didn't dap up Draymond, and Steph got like, I mean, right now I think that the Warriors are literally babysitting a bitch. That's what it is. He's behaving like a bitch. Yeah. And they're a guy to babysit him about that. He's a damaged mental player. He's not playing well, but that's affecting his behavior as a man, and that's really bad. It's really bad, and what a it's so unfortunate for Golden State because they just gave him the deal. Yeah. Like it's and what him playing so poorly. It'll be interesting to see, like, if they do flame out and go out in 5 or 6, if they look to move him and if they can move him. Yeah. I'm not sure. It'll have to be a young, bad team that'll take a flyer on him. But also, in the last series, you remember when Curry was like, he came out in the media and was like, we had to tell our team that if you want to stay back, you can stay back. Yeah, Game 7 speech. The night before Game 7, the speech is, if you're not willing to put aside your emotions for the good of the team, the fact that he had to say that tells you where this is. And I'll go back to something that we talked on the show at the beginning of the season with the punch. Yeah. The one thing that stood out for me more than anything else on that video was the complete absence of a reaction from any other player on the team. Any other player. You could see in that video, those guys are chirping. Then you could see Draymond. Draymond didn't like turn from a foot away and deck him. He walked, kind of across half the court. Nobody intervened. They were kind of hoping that he punched. Well, my thing on it was that, like, at that time, in that moment, whatever those two guys had going on was so, like, just significant and unrelenting that the attitude was like, they just need to fight this out. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to intervene. They just need to get this out. Let somebody win this and let's move on. But big picture, that was, that's that thing that's not a together team. Like, together teams handle that before it gets to fisticuffs. Yeah. They pull dudes aside, they talk to them, they make people, behave right. They police themselves. And it's very unfortunate to see such a great team be in this place in this time. Yeah, but in the beginning, everybody was down on Draymond. Yeah, it was Draymond threw the punch. He's overreacting. He's not a monster, but you know what I mean. All the negative energy was towards Draymond. But the way things are unfolded now, maybe Poole was the issue all along. Yeah. And Draymond just got fed up with Poole's shit, but we didn't know because we're not, especially in the offseason, everything is like closed caption. Yeah. You don't have an inside view of. But Poole is a weird ass dude. Yeah. Like, just like even like all the video clips of him like making weird faces, doing weird, like that's just a weird guy. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying he can't play basketball because of that, but he's a weird dude. Yeah. And probably becomes annoying at a certain point. Yeah, exactly. That's my point to that. Yeah. Now on the Lakers side, I'm going to say this. Oh, go ahead. The Lakers, there's no joy in watching the Lakers players succeed. I can't enjoy it. Well, I know you're not. It's not even because it's Golden State. I'm going to root for whoever against them. I might root for the Third Reich against them. You would root for Phoenix over them? The Third Reich, the Nazis. I know, but I'm Phoenix over them. Yeah, why not? They're such a joyless, annoying team. No, that's not true. They are. Austin Reeves, you gotta. I hate that motherfucker. You hate Austin Reeves? I hate that motherfucker. He comes from nothing. You gotta like the underdog. No, story. I don't. What I don't like is moderate talents overhyped because they play in Los Angeles. Double down on a white talent who plays in Los Angeles. When they're performing. He's playing well. This is not. He's playing well. He's not a star. He's not going to be a star. Right. But the way people talk, like it gets blown out of proportion. I can't enjoy watching that.
I really do enjoy watching the Lakers.
Yeah, I
don't.
don't.
If it wasn't for the 76ers,
I'm just waiting for that AD injury. It's overdue.
I don't particularly love watching AD, but everybody else I really enjoy.
Dude, there's not one player on that team I enjoy on any level.
No,
not one. This is my least favorite version of LeBron.
Why you say that?
It's the way he plays now. It's just not compelling.
It's compelling.
It's not.
I love
the
watching,
narrative.
I love
The narrative. The narrative of him being an old guy, still putting up numbers. It's a narrative. There's no joy in watching him.
It is. He's controlling an entire basketball game in year 2021. Nobody's ever done that. Like, that is very compelling. He literally controlled the entire basketball game in Game 5. Yeah. Like he literally could toyed with the entire Golden State Warriors team. That's compelling to me.
Yeah, not for me.
On both ends, he's still playing like elite defense in playoffs. He's blocking shots. Like that looks good to me. I mean, from being an old man, he's not the old LeBron, of course.
Yeah,
but
I just can't enjoy it the same way.
I can.
Yeah,
I
just don't.
I'd rather seeing him this way than averaging 8 points like Kareem was or something. Like, was that compelling?
No, I hated watching Kareem.
Like, I hate guys that hang on too long.
I agree with you.
And Vince Carter, is year 20.
I actually enjoyed Vince Carter
on the fucking what?
Because Vince Carter,
Memphis Grizzlies, Atlanta Hawks.
Vince Carter, he gracefully went to that, and I enjoyed that for Vince Carter. What's
enjoyable about that?
It was just cool that he was just hanging on for the love of the game.
Udonis Haslem.
Like, I don't like. Know where Udonis Haslem lost me? It was the last regular season game of last season, and he got minutes.
Yeah.
He got ejected.
Yeah.
He got
it. It was against 76.
Yeah, he got ejected like very quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this motherfucker don't even want to play. Like, you finally get an extended minutes in a game, and you just can't go and have a good time and take a few shots and play ball.
This year he put on a 3-point barrage against the Magic.
I'll respect that, but the year before he lost me, man.
Yeah.
That was the most ridiculous thing.
It was really strange too. It was almost like it was.
It was like he did not want to play.
Yeah, like he did it on purpose.
Yes.
It wasn't natural.
Yeah. It was not a tense game.
No.
Like, he hadn't played long enough to get worked up. I mean,
it was weird.
It was like, I remember, when we used to have Jason Williams play with Pedro's posse, there would be, a game every couple of months where you just knew he really didn't want to be there, and he would find a way to get ejected. He would just go off on some random thing. And that's what I felt Udonis Haslem was doing.
But my point to start on the Lakers side is it's bad that LeBron had to, and hopefully he came to this realization, but so late in his career that he works best when the whole team around him is deep and guys can actually play, instead of this 3-star thing that he kind of got like hooked into and he tried it again, like this most recent time with the Westbrook and AD thing. And that just like this team is so much better than the team that was at the beginning of the year. Now, that team was impossible to watch with Westbrook at the helm and those guys. Like, this team is so much deeper with guys that can just do stuff.
Yeah.
And it's bad that he realized this so late in his career, and hopefully he comes to that realization. But hopefully it works for them, man. Well, unless they have to play Philly. But other than that, I
then you want it to spectacularly implode.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, people are foolish. You do need a deep team to win. Like, you need contributors and people that can do stuff. It just never made sense to me to not have something resembling a balanced roster.
Yeah. No, that's for sure.
But and again, the Lonnie Walker having the fourth quarter that he did. Like, when you look at you start the playoffs, you cannot predict what it's going to take to get through those series. Mm-hmm. And inevitably, there's going to be moments where some unsung guy is going to have to do something critical to get you through a game or get you through a series. And like, you have to recognize that, or you're going to have to play in some manner that maybe you hadn't really played all year, whether it's going small, going big, doing something different. And that's why the deep roster is such a critical thing, that you got to have these weapons available, because you don't know what's going to turn a series.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at it saying, I got to win 4 series of basketball to be a champion, you got to have a deep arsenal of tools, because you just don't know what it's going to be.
No, exactly. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Ping, home of sports, music, and mayhem. We are available on all, and I do mean all, podcast streaming platforms. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Once again, we got Abson coming in soon. He's finishing up a show. All right, he's performing.
Like a live performance?
Yeah, live performance.
Damn.
So we'll try not to tire him out when they get here. What I want you guys to remember is our first overall sponsor, man, Overkink.com. Well, our very first sponsor, Overkink.com. They do have all, and I do mean all, of your bedroom needs. Use promo code BubbaPink. All right, and you can get those at a discount.
I was hyping up Overkink.com to the boys at lunch.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because we were over up in Sanford, and they apparently opened a Fair Villa boutique. I don't know if it's connected to the main Fair Villa, but and we didn't investigate during lunch. So, but I was like, hey, if you guys just want to order this stuff online,
Exactly.
you can go to Overkink.com and use the Bubba Pink discount code.
That's it. Why go to Fair Villa and pay full price?
Exactly.
Just doesn't make any sense. And you have the shame card. You're walking out of there. May run into somebody you know. You don't want that. Who wants to have even if it's not shame, who wants to have a conversation in Fair Villa with somebody you haven't seen in a while?
Well, it's not having the conversation in Fair Villa. That's actually not too bad.
Yeah.
It's like when you're walking out and they're coming out of like the battery store or something. Like, it's like, hey, wonder what that guy's bringing home. Like, that's the problem. If you're both in Fair Villa, it's kind of like a little awkward, but hey, you're here, I'm here.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
You don't look at my bag, I won't look in yours.
Proper protocols for running into a friend in an adult toy store. But all of this can be avoided if you go to Overkink.com and use the discount code.
That's it. Let's talk some All NBA. That was just released.
Glad you have the teams up
at the top of the show. Yeah. And shout out to our editor Chris, who got these over to me. All right. So All NBA is very important to these guys because it's attached to the Supermax deals, right? So you got these guys on these Supermax contracts. You can only earn it if you make one of these All-NBA teams, okay? And we'll talk about the guys who missed out on it, because there's actually some prominent names who missed out on this and won't be able to get the Supermax deal for their extensions. Now, All-NBA first team, you got Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, shout out to the MVP, Shea Alexander from OKC Thunder, and Jason Tatum. Thoughts?
I'm surprised by Lucas and Shea. Genuinely surprised.
Yeah.
I'm
a little surprised at Luka. A little surprised at Luka. I'm sorry. Yeah, a little surprised at Luka, just because of the team missing the playoffs.
Yeah, the team had a bad season.
But I will say All NBA has traditionally been like individual performance and not based on team. But you have to factor that in, right?
Part of that, I don't think Luka was dramatically better than he'd been in the past either.
No,
we projected him as
All NBA in the past too, though.
Yeah, but we projected. But again, if the stats are the same, but the team performance is lower, like, why is he first team All NBA?
Yeah.
I'm not saying he didn't belong in the top 15 of this, but I think that I'm not happy with him being in the top, the first team.
Here goes the issue. So you have to say, okay, who should have made the first team? So
let's go to the second team and see what our options are.
So we got Jaylen Brown, who people were like, he's not going to make All NBA. I'm like, no, he's definitely going to make All NBA. He might make the third team, maybe. No, he's going to make at least the second team. Anyway, so I feel vindicated again. So Jaylen Brown, you got Jimmy Butler, who I was comparing him to, Stephen Curry, and Nikola Jokic, and Donovan Mitchell. Now, they're saying next year starts the rule where it's positionless. So next year, in theory, Nikola and Joel can be on the same team, but
how are they characterizing Luka?
Luka is a guard.
I would have Steph over Luka.
But Steph missed a lot of the.
Yeah, I still would have some over there. Luka missed some time too this year.
Yeah, he did.
He wasn't an Iron Man.
No, not this year.
And his team performed like crap.
Yeah, I would be interested.
Get his ass on the second team.
And put Steph on first?
Yes.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad. Not angry. I'm not upset. Even though Golden State was 7th seed, right?
It's better than being out of the playoffs.
It is.
Out of the play-in.
Out of the play-in.
You guys sucked.
No, that's true. I'm with that. No, I'm with you on that. Donovan Mitchell is the second. Was on the second team here, and I'm okay with that. Like you said, the one where it's the Stephen Curry for Luka. That can go. I can go with that.
Yeah.
Now the third team, you have Darren Fox, LeBron, Dame, Julius Randle, and Sabonis.
Wow, those last three raised some concerns.
You gotta go.
Dame missed a lot of time on a team that was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd put Booker.
No.
Devin Booker?
No.
Dame.
I'm going. Yeah, I think Dame had a better season than Booker.
Hell no.
But let me show you some of the guys that missed out. So the guys that they're saying missed out. Well, Ja Morant, number one, right? But he had the funky season with the stuff.
Yeah. I'd still put him over Dame. You can't do it over Julius Randle, whatever.
Van Fleet.
Nah.
Jamal Murray.
I would put him over Dame.
And
Number two player on the number one team in the West versus a guy that didn't make the play-in. All day, every day.
Murray was still coming back from that injury in the beginning of the year. I don't know how many games he actually missed. I don't have that in front of me. But that will be interesting to see. Now, these guys that I just named, they're up for an extension, so they're going to miss out on the Supermax. Ja Morant, your foolishness with the guns just costs you, roughly $50, $60, $70 million.
As it should.
Yeah. Patrick Siakam, which, whatever. I don't think he – I mean, I guess it was either him or Randall.
I trust him more than Julius Randle. I'm not a Julius Randle guy.
I trust Siakam, but Randall had a better season, Van Fleet, which – no.
Again, very little team success.
And Jamal Murray is going to miss out. He's up for extension. He's going to miss out as well.
What other players are just –
that just missed?
Yeah.
Well, of course you have, as far as good players, James Harden. Of course you don't see him listed. Let's see here some other names.
Kawhi and Paul George.
Yeah, you got the
missed significant time.
The missing time brothers. Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
The triplets, missing time triplets.
Just missing time out here.
Yeah, just missing time. I don't see Kevin Durant.
No Kevin Durant. He missed time and got traded.
But as far as somebody who I think probably should made it, I don't know. Ja is the biggest disappointment. But outside of that, I think everybody made it that should have made it. All right.
Well, I would say Ja and or Devin Booker over
Devin Booker
over Dame.
Over Dame?
Yeah.
You're not a Dame guy.
I'm not a guy that can't make the play-in game. I'm discrediting Luka for that. I don't think he should be sitting up there all prim and proper on the first team with the.
What about your guy Anthony Edwards?
Anthony Edwards, why not? He was solid all year, showed up and played, got his team to the playoffs. Yeah, put him in there over Dame.
You gotta keep attacking
because he's a scrub in this. He has the weakest resume out of all 15 players. He doesn't. I mean, he did not make the play-in game, like Luka, but Luka statistically crushed him. Everybody else in there is a playoff team, right?
Maybe I would like to see him versus Randall in the stats. But Randall was an Iron Man. He played damn near.
Right, and I'm not. I mean, he's the second most squirrely player on the list, but he's a forward.
Yeah,
and we're talking guards.
We're talking guards.
I would, I'd try and cram a forward in front of him too.
Yeah.
But again, 82, and they were a playoff 4 or 5 seed.
Yeah.
I mean, versus not in the play-in game.
Now, Giannis is upset. Something I don't have listed, which is the all defensive teams. He didn't make an all defensive team. which his teammates did, Drew Holiday and.
Drew Holiday's the guy I'd put over there in front of Dame.
I thought Drew Holiday had a really good season.
Yeah.
Because
he had to
Giannis
do a lot of
missed
heavy
quite a
lifting
bit
when
of time,
Giannis was out.
and he was the guy.
Stepped up to the challenge.
It wasn't Middleton.
Had
Middleton was really
another
bad.
all-defensive season.
Yeah.
Yeah. God,
No,
there's
I would
so
put him
many
over
ways to get Dame out of this.
I would put Drew over there.
Yeah.
That's the first name I agree, though. I'm not agreeing with anybody else.
Really?
No.
You're like a Dame loyalist. Maybe you should move to Portland.
That's the last thing I'm going to But yes, Giannis put out, he was like, I feel so, what did he say? I feel, whatever he said, but he said, I'll be back next year. You know, back to the RES, back to the respect thing that we talked about.
RESPCT.
Yeah. But, you know, Giannis is obviously, he's a good defender. The thing about it is you can't have three guys from the team make an All-NBA defensive team when your defense wasn't like, you know.
Historically great.
Yeah.
No, really, that would be the standard. You'd have to have like a historically great defense.
Yeah, and the problem is Brook Lopez took such a step up this year being the rim protector. Giannis didn't have to. Like in years past, Giannis was pretty much the man in that category for that team. And this year they kind of shared it, and Brook really outshined him in that particular part of defense. And then the playoffs showed us again. This is like the third time in the playoffs that we've seen it, but in the regular season as well, he doesn't guard the best player at his position on the team.
Well, and Bud's got fired for it.
Yeah. But and I don't know how much of that is on the player. Every year they ask him, and every year he just says, you know, I trust what the coach says. Whatever the coach says, I do. But it's like if you see a guy that's like really destroying you, like, and then you think you're the best defender in the league.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like Jordan's not doing that.
And that's
Embiid
that weird thing where like I don't know the dynamic of him like that. My gut would tell me that, you know, I don't care what you say on the sideline, I'm going to guard Jimmy Butler. And you figure the rest of this shit out.
You figure the rest out.
You know, that's what I'm telling you. Like
when he's really like
and again, when you're looking like if he does that, like what possible consequences there? What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
you can't. He has all the power. And you got to be aware of that.
You got to trade him.
Yeah, you can't do anything. I mean, he can guard whoever he wants. Like that's the reality of professional sports power. Yeah. Like there's no way. Like so, that is. I mean, if he just like sort of meekly, you know, walked out of the huddle and accepted Bud's direction, that's not good, and it doesn't make sense because he has all the power in that relationship, and he needed to exercise it there.
Yeah, he really did. But yeah, that's the All NBA teams.
Because there was a Jordan story was circulating. I've heard it before, but it was just like it was during the Olympics. It was like Chuck Daly, Charles Barkley, Jordan, and one other guy played a round of golf. And they were playing like Puerto Rico that night or somebody. And Chuck Daly said, hey, great round, guys. Let's get out of here. We got a game tonight. Michael said, I'm playing another round. And he went out and played another 18 holes of golf. Then he shows up, and they're like, oh, man, you know, just whatever. And they start giving the defensive assignments. And he's like, no, I got the point guard. He's like, you know, you want to run around like that? You played 36 holes of golf. He goes, no, that guy said something about me before the Olympics. Yeah. I got him, and that's it. Like nobody's gonna do anything, you know. All right, let's go. Yeah, exactly.
Not a damn thing. Yeah. So that's it. And also, not to keep parlaying on that, but being that Eric Spoelstra had Bam on Giannis, and Giannis made a few buckets, and Jimmy went to Eric's like, no, I got Giannis for the rest of the game. You know,
that's the way it's supposed to work. That's the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Because here's another part of that you got to realize. When your best player tells you something like that, like they have accepted ownership of that task. Yeah. You are going to get them fully engaged to do that. Because when a big player goes, I'm going to take this guy, he knows damn well his reputation, everything's on the line, and you got to play up to that. You know, if you want to hide out and guard some other guy and have a good offensive night, but when you call out and say, I got Jimmy or Jimmy's got Giannis, you know what that means.
Yeah.
I'm going alpha dog for alpha dog, and I'm not backing down.
Exactly.
And if he beats me, I look bad. And that's it. And when you got a guy willing to accept that, you get out of the way and let him do it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's why that motherfucker's fired.
All right, once again, you guys on the bench with Bubba and Pig, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Abson just entered the building. All right, we'll let him get situated and seated here. But in the meantime, I want to give a quick shout out to Royal13thebrand.com, one of our other sponsors here. Royal13thebrand.com. Use promo code Bubba Pink. Be fresh for the summer. The summer is here, it's upon us. The short shorts, the tank tops, okay?
I gotta
shorts
ask,
above the knees.
when you showed up at the barbershop chat the other day,
Yeah.
was that
That was from Royal13thebrand.com.
Oh, you looked the part. If you want to crush it at brunch,
There you go.
go to
Royal13.
Royal13thebrand.com and ask for the Bubba special. Ladies will melt. Panties will be damp.
What's going on, Abson?
Yo, what's going on? How you feeling? Man?
All right,
It's
man.
good to
All
have
right,
you on
man.
here, man. How'd your show go?
That's still to be continued. That's gonna go on actually after this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay,
Cool.
okay.
Okay.
That's what's up, man. Now I played your music video for you at the top of the show here. All right. Now that was on your album 22s,
Yes, sir.
right? All right. Now, and you released that about roughly a month ago, a few weeks now, right? For you,
Yeah.
video.
It was last month.
So what went into that? Because 22s was your last album, and now you're dropping 23s when? Really soon.
Yeah, summertime.
Summertime,
Couple
right?
months, about 2
So
months.
you're still pushing songs from 22s. What goes into that? Because some artists, one of my biggest beefs, and I just wanted to start here because one of my biggest beefs for artists, especially locals, they move on from songs and from projects too fast. It's like, you don't give that opportunity for that song or for that album to really shine. You know what I mean? So what went into that, dropping that music video last month when you got 23s coming right around the corner?
I've always been an advocate for continuously pushing the song that I'm already like on that, like even before this kind of marketing plan came into play with the team. It was more so I have a song that nobody really knows about yet all around. I might as well just push it for a long period of time. So that's always been the plan in my head in regards to that, and that's why 22 is going to continue to be promoted, because I feel like that's still a good album that people haven't heard yet.
Exactly.
Okay.
I like that. Just makes sense, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm almost feeling like a little bit of the Drake thing where you just always out there. You always got something moving,
Yeah.
and people for people to listen to, people to hear, and just basically flood the air with your sound.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So let's talk about what all you have going on now. I know you wanted to. So what kind of success did you see from 22s? Did you get what you were looking to get as far as your views and fans and shows and things like that? Did you get what you was set out for? You know what I mean?
Yes and no. I mean, yes in the musicality aspect. So 22s, I wanted to be different in regards to some of the things I wanted to do musically, and I definitely think I accomplished that throughout that project. And yeah, I did get some notoriety from it, from people saying that they enjoyed it. But again, I just want to continuously push the notoriety because, again, the world hasn't heard it yet. But I'm still trying to build that base up.
How you looking to do that? Because there's different ways. Do you like in your mind? How do you visualize that? Is it a big song that's gonna make the break? Is it a completion of just a really dope project album, or is it just over time grinding it out to become that bigger artist?
I think over time it's just gonna be like grinding it out. Just trying to get as much content as possible, which is why I continue to push content all the time, consistently, because it's consistency at the end of the day when it comes to music. Having a big hit would be cool too. I mean, obviously you would want that, but
Might be lucrative as well.
yeah, super lucrative and all that for sure.
Might help with the bitches too, right?
That's a fact. I can't even dispute that.
Money and hoes, man.
No, you can never go wrong with that, man.
That's right.
No, that's for sure.
So wait, how did you start musically though?
I've always been into music, so it would be my mom was in the choir at church, or she was in the praise team. My sisters sing. My pops is really into. He was more of that secular side where it was like pop music, R&B, hip hop. He would show me a lot of things when I was younger. So I was always into music. I would watch a lot of competition shows growing up. So it would be like the X Factor, American Idol. So
Yeah.
once I saw one dude, go up on like X Factor, I think once the year that I watched it when I was like 11, I was like, I saw that he could rap on a big stage like this. Why not me? So I started like really dabbling into hip hop, and I started just getting obsessed with music and anything music oriented. I just kind of went through with it, and then eventually I caught the bug.
Cool. Have you attempted to audition for any one of those type of like performance shows or any of that?
Yeah.
Which one?
American Idol.
Did you?
Did
Yeah,
you?
I tried.
Oh, cool,
I tried.
Did they come here? Like, were they?
Yeah.
Or did you have to?
So it was in Orlando? The tryout.
The tryout. I think it was within the area. It wasn't too far from Orlando.
I think it was like Kissimmee, yeah. Because I
Kissimmee,
remember
maybe.
them saying that they were here.
Who was the panel when you were trying out?
What's his name? It was just a few people from the actual American Idol staff. It wasn't like anybody major yet. You had to get it was like a few rounds where you had to get to.
Oh,
so it'd be one round, another round, and then you get to the final people, the judges.
With the celebrity people that we
Celebrity
see on TV.
people.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
But unfortunately, yeah, that didn't work out for me.
Was the moment too big for you?
No, I mean, I think I did pretty well. I mean, I think a lot of things came in perspective because they were looking for more. Because American Idols, that's like the Kelly Clarksons, that's more the Jordan Sparks, things like that. The more pop oriented country type of artists. That's what they're really looking for more so. Now, the song that I sang, my choices weren't really like what they were looking for in that regard.
Gotcha. What did you do? A song of your own, or did you do a cover?
Yeah, I did a cover.
Which one?
I did a cover of I believe it was an Usher track. Or it might have been a Ray J track. I'm not really so sure.
Usher's better than Ray J.
Yeah, no,
Hope
for
you
sure.
went with Usher.
Nah, for sure. Oh no, it was a song that I heard from him that I really enjoyed. I ain't gonna lie. So that's why I kind of decided to go with it. It might have been Usher. It's been a long time since it happened, so I'm just kind of not remembering.
But so yeah, and they look for pop. Now the thing about you is you are in these different lanes where you sing some, you rap some, but you also have these poppy type songs as well, especially on 22s. That's the album I heard. I don't know if you have any other projects. 22s is one I play pretty often here. And you have all three of those elements on that album. You have pop stuff, you rapping some, Beastie Boys, you're singing.
Beastie Boys.
Yeah, did I say that
Beast
name
Boy.
wrong?
Yeah, Beast Boy, actually.
Beast Boy. Okay,
that's the name of the song.
Yeah. And so I guess my question is, do you plan to like continue that out, or are you going to really go into one of those lanes and really dive in? Because right now you
or do you feel that connecting to at a higher level of success would require you to kind of go into a more specific lane? Could you maintain your diversity and be what you want to be?
That's a good question.
That's why I'm here.
Really good question. Well, yeah, I mean, that's something I do want to continue. Just to answer your question, it is something I want to continue because, again, I want to. One of my goals is I don't want to really be put in a box. I don't want people to tell me what I am as an artist or what I can do as an artist and what I can't do. So I'm gonna try different things. The crazy thing is then I used to think that kind of stuff was corny. I ain't gonna lie. So like the Stuck on You record, I'll go into that real quick. Like again, it was sort of my idea. I wrote it in high school. So it was like I wrote it in high school. A few years later, I went to the studio and went with it. But it's like he played the beat, or Jaffe, the producer of the beat, he played the beat, and I was just like, the second verse, like the whole melodic thing I was trying to do, that wasn't really me at the time. It was kind of like, oh, yo, you should try this for this. And then I'm like, I heard it back, and I thought it was corny. I thought it was really, really corny.
Okay.
So I was like, but until I heard how people reacted to it, it was kind of like the first time. Because actually, I had a previous project called 21, which is 22 was like the sequel of it. So Stuck on You was actually on 21. I just decided to put it back on 22s to keep the promotion going.
Okay.
But now I got a lot of notoriety from it, and I heard people saying like, yo, you could sing too, bro. You could do both parts and things like that. So
you started out just rapping.
Yeah, I just wanted to rap at first.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that is good that you got the melodic. So, but have you gotten any comments about the singing? Because I'm not definitely not a singer, but I'm not a huge R&B guy, but it sounds good to me. I'm just an average listener, and it sounds good to me. So for a guy that kind of picked it up late or later, how are the comments and about the singing just in particular?
Well, for the most part, I've heard good things about it. I've heard good things, people saying like, well, most people didn't know I could really sing till 22s. So when they kind of heard some of the songs, they was like, they expected rapping, but then they heard singing, and it was like, oh, I didn't know you could sing like that, bro.
Surprise.
It was a surprise to a lot of people, you know,
Okay.
and I was like, okay. You know, maybe I could keep it going then. You know, maybe that is what it is.
But that plays on the concept of expectation, though.
Yeah.
Like if you're like straight up pure singing, like it's going to be evaluated in that. But if you come and you can rap and now you show the singing, it's almost like lowers the bar for it a little bit.
That's
because
true.
it's like you got a curveball too.
Yeah.
It's just not a fastball. I like that though. That's cool. But I really like your vocal tone. It's really like it's just enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah.
You know, it's not necessarily crazy range and all that, but it's like it's nice. It's
Yeah.
nice.
No, I appreciate that. For
You
sure.
think it could get better from here? Like,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, for sure. It's just warming up. You know, I mean, I always want to like, again, just scale up and get better every time I come out with something else or I try to sing and things like that. So for sure.
Do you like train or practice singing, or if you do, like what do you do to like kind of, I guess, improve your singing capacity or ability, if anything?
Yeah, mainly just warm ups, things like that in the morning. You know, I have like a routine where I usually just go ahead and just play a video that has, vocal exercise here, and I try to like just get it ready and just practice and just continue to try and get the voice stronger a little bit.
And that's something you do on a daily basis?
Yeah, for the most part, I try to do it on a daily basis.
Cool.
That's interesting you said videos, because I was thinking in my head you probably could benefit from like from vocal classes or something, because a lot of artists do that. But nowadays, I mean, you got everything's online, YouTube, and learning classes and things like that, to where you can watch a video like he said. And
What you potentially lose though is the immediacy of feedback and correction. If you're watching the video, you can replicate or drill what they're doing, but you're not getting that immediate feedback. If you're working with a skilled vocal coach, you're going to get immediate no, not there, here, or whatever, and that's going to be the difference in it.
Yeah.
That more immediate direct feedback to you.
Yeah. Well, I think you could benefit from that. It sounds good to me, but you got those anal guys that listen to singing and R&B all the guys.
What do you know about anal guys? Damn. That story last week?
Yeah.
You sure that wasn't an autobiography?
I know, right? Now, I asked you in your on IG last night, right? So here goes the thing. You don't know, but so I'm African American black, but I'm really big in the Haitian culture, right? So I compa, I do all of that, right? And we've had a lot of like Haitian, not a lot, but we had quite a few Haitian women on the show. We always ask them questions and do all that, and they talk a lot of trash about the Haitian men, okay? And
Wait, let me catch up. You're Haitian?
yeah. So
Okay,
he's Haitian.
all right.
Yeah, my nationality for sure. My whole family's from Haiti.
Right.
Okay.
And I knew, first of all, because of the name. The name is a giveaway. But so it's a two-part question. Number one is, do you hear what they say about Haitian men a lot? Right. I want you to not guess, but tell me what you hear about Haitian men. I want to line it up with what they tell me. And two, I don't get any any Haitian elements in your music. I know it's hip hop, pop, or whatever the exact term would be, but I don't get any of those elements in your music. Like, did you grow up where your parents? Now you say your parents are from Haiti, both, but did they grow up with a lot of the Haitian principles that a lot of these Haitian kids are growing up with, stuff like that?
Wow. All right. The Haitian women part, that's a doozy. That's a doozy.
We'll start here. Do you like Haitian women, or do you prefer others?
Yeah, I don't have a preference. I'm not against any race or anything like that. As long as you're, you have good vibes and you're a cool person, I'm gonna chill with you for the most part.
There you go. That's a media trained answer.
Yeah, for sure. I don't discriminate at all. Okay, that did sound a little video trained. For sure.
Very, very. All right. So what if so like going to Bubba's thing, like what have you heard as far as like sort of negative type things about Haitian men, and is that your reality?
Well, I mean, I'll say this: it's not my reality, for sure not. But I will hear, I would hear a lot of things about them probably being a little bit too on the cheapskate area. For sure, that's one of them.
That's my wheelhouse, and I'm not Haitian.
Yeah, I mean, but anybody could be cheap though. That's the crazy
That's
thing.
what I'm saying.
But they say very frugal, very like over the top. That is one of them. Another one that they say a lot is, cheat a lot. They got a lot of women, a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of women all
that's
the time.
another thing for sure.
Now, what about in the music, the Haitian elements in the music?
Well, before we get away from this too far, do you agree with me that Bubba kind of uses the anti-Haitian men thing as sort of like his little intro to the Haitian women? I'm not the Haitian man that you dislike.
Oh God.
I think that's where we're going with this.
At this point,
For sure. Back to music.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little touchy. A little touchy on that.
So yeah, sort of the absence of any sort of like Haitian elements to your music, is that something you may evolve into, or just haven't even really given it much thought? You're just doing what you're doing.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not something I really given much thought because I really just want to like hone my skills within what I already know and what the demographic is right now. But I've thought about it before. Like I thought about exploring more of that element, the Afrobeat, the Haitian, the compa, the zouk type of vibe. I've thought about it before. It's just something that I think I'd rather just explore later on. Within my career, I'd rather just focus more on my elements right now and just even still being diversifying and if the opportunity comes, I wouldn't mind doing it because I've worked on some Afrobeat tracks before, so getting to work on more of a Haitian compa track, it it's not again, I'm not against anything. I'm not really against. I'm really open to vibing to anything for the most part.
True that. Do you have any influences?
Yeah. Mainly in the hip hop realm. I mean R&B as well. So I grew up a big Usher fan. So Usher was like one of the biggest influences that I had. Like when I was younger, before I was really into hip hop, I was into R&B. So like Usher, Neo, that's another one. I really was inspired by his songwriting a lot of the time. Which inspired me to write R&B songs kind of like that. Aaliyah, that's another one. Aaliyah. Yeah, for sure. Aaliyah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of her music. I ended up, just discovering and just kind of like, yeah, that 1 in a Million album for sure. It was a game changer. Timbaland's one of my favorite producers, so it just kind of applied.
It's interesting you haven't said one name yet, and it's right in your era here is Chris Brown. And of course, Chris Brown and Usher. You feel like you got to choose one today? Is that what?
Nah, Usher all day.
Or you could do like they do and choose violence.
Yeah, Usher all day. Yeah, I choose violence. Usher all day. For real, Usher all day. Okay. Usher all day. If we're doing the verses right now, it's Usher.
Oh yeah.
It's Usher.
For sure. You got to.
Now, do you not like Chris Brown or just?
I'll say this: he is a talented artist. He is talented for sure. And I enjoyed his first 2 albums for sure. I'd say my problem with Chris Brown, and I'm keeping out all the negative stuff in the media and things like that. My problem with Chris Brown is that a lot of his songs, like from a span of time, I think maybe the X era when he dropped that album, everything else he's been dropping has kind of been the same. Like every kind of song, it's in the same kind of element. You know what you're gonna get, and it's like. And for a guy that kind of likes more so, why not try something different? Why not be something different? It doesn't really suit me personally. So when I heard, not too long ago about the Breezy album, him complaining about how it not got no record sales and things like that, I was like, bro, like you're making these same exact songs that I've heard you do.
That was the
2
one that
years
had
ago.
like 30, 40 songs.
30, 40 songs on it. I'm like, bro.
Every last single one of them sounded the same.
That's a
Yeah.
bad. I mean, 30, 40 songs is a bad. I never
Why?
understand like even just the double album.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
dude,
I don't understand.
Give us 10, 12 good songs,
Yeah.
and we're okay.
Yeah,
We're okay.
I never understood that. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like he made an 100 song album, like the Heartbreak on a Full Moon thing. That was 100 songs of some of the same
Yikes.
vibes, again and again and again. And I'm like, bro, you got nothing different in the tape. Like I get it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Your fans love it. I get it in that regard. But when are you gonna do something different in regards to that? And which is why I say, I don't know. And in Usher, you know, that's kind of like he's like the R&B legend, man. Like you know, Confessions is something that was a phenomenon. You know,
Were you
when it came out.
disappointed when he partnered with the City Girls?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, I agree.
Why?
Were you mad on
But
that?
again, to your point, Usher tries things.
He did.
He has the R. Kelly
But you
thing.
can't
he has the-
give your credibility to those tawdry hookers.
Yeah,
can't.
I wouldn't have.
Because we
personally.
talked about that. Like,
P. Diddy
like,
did.
No, but
Yeah.
P. Diddy has
P.
no
Diddy.
musical credibility. Like he's
Not really.
just dancing in your videos.
Yeah.
Dancing in your
Yep,
video.
since the 90s.
That's all he's about.
Since the 90s.
No, but like we talked about, like with Future and Drake, you know, or not Future and Drake. I'm sorry, 21 Savage and Drake. Like one person it benefits, and the other it's just another day at the office. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But don't let the City Girls benefit off of Usher.
yeah,
Come
nah,
on,
that
man.
wasn't
You gotta have some standards, man.
that wasn't a good look for sure.
Yeah.
I understand that, but yeah, he does try more things than Chris does for sure.
Yeah. That was my point to that. Let me. I have a couple of things here. We're going to get to your top 5, but there was this list. I'm not sure if you've seen it. Probably haven't. I think I saw it on Orlando Media Group. Shout out to them on IG. Now, they put out a list, or they just covered the list that was put out on Florida, the top 15 hottest artists of last year bleeding into this year, okay? And I'm going to – it's hard for you to see from over there, so I'm going to just shout them out quickly to you. These are the top 15. I'll go top 10. So you got Kodak 1, Rod Wave 2, 3 is Nardo Wick, 4 is Hot Boy, 5 is Real Boston Richie, 6 is Young and Ace, 7 is Lil Papa, 8 City Girls, we're just talking about them, 9 is Fulio, 10 is Jack Boy. Now, first of all, how many of those names do you recognize or know of?
Maybe 5 names.
Maybe
about 5 names.
Maybe 5 of those out of those top 10. All right. Now we know that Hot Boy is here from Orlando, and I know all the names. I don't know Lil Papa. Excuse me. I don't know him. I don't know Lil Papa. I never heard
My
of
first time.
him. Yeah. But and these are guys from Florida. Now, do you know of any other like underground artists that you're kind of grinding with and things of that nature? Do you like pay attention to them when you're out and you're doing your thing?
I do and I don't, because again, for the most part, I'm my own competition. For the most part, I try to like stay in my lane and just kind of just do me. But I wouldn't lie to you, you know, and say that I don't peep a few of the artists that I know from the same region as mine, kind of like doing their thing. But yeah, I know it's a few of them. I don't know if I could go by name right now in my head.
Right. No,
But yeah.
I'm not actually by name. I was just wondering, just curious on that
I
process.
was curious about names.
Yeah.
Are you, Bubba? Are you offended that that's FAMU colors and not Bethune?
I didn't even pay attention.
First
to
thing
that.
I thought of.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
The
wow.
Rattlers.
yeah,
That's
I know.
crazy.
That's terrible.
It's
God
great.
awful. But yeah. But outside of that, I thought that was interesting. And my thoughts on this is it's pretty accurate as far as the names that they have on there and how they would be ranked. I would have to do further thinking to see if they left anybody out or anything. But yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. And shout out to Hot Boy that's from Orlando,
Yeah,
coming in at number 4 there.
yeah, I agree.
And Rod Wave is a guy I really like. I really enjoy Rod Wave, but he's in a I don't want to say an acquired taste, but he is that guy that's in that one lane, and it's kind of like if you're in that mood to listen to that type of music, you're in it. And if not, he's just not going to be your guy. But he's very talented in that lane that he's in. Not sure how much he's going to try to escape the box and do other type of music. I'm not sure. But so when you're talking mainstream though, what would be your top 5 in mainstream in hip hop?
Hip hop music.
Yeah.
Like now or just in general?
What would you, what
I would say now. Who are you rocking with now?
Okay. I'm an underground cat for the most part, but if I was to say mainstream, Drake is one for sure. Drake, I gotta give it to him. Another person that I'm rocking with now, JID. I like JID a lot.
Yeah, JID.
JID is crazy.
He got that record with Wayne. It do go.
Oh yeah, that was a fire track. That whole album, was crazy. JID. Mainstream. I don't know if he counts as a hip hop because he does more melodic rap. Does Black count or no?
Yeah, hip hop. Black
Yeah.
counts.
I'll say Black.
If I put Rod Wave in there, Black is in there.
Yeah, for sure. I like the vibes of Black for sure. And these is just off the top of my
Black
head.
is
It's
really
just-
dope.
Nah, for sure, he's dope for sure. Let me see. So that was Drake, JID, Black. I'm gonna say Saba. I like Saba a lot.
Okay, I've been hearing that name a lot.
Yeah, Saba. Super dope artist.
Yeah.
This album he did called Care for You. I think that was the name back in 2018. So that was a really fire project that I really enjoyed. And I guess one more person in mind.
Who's on that Apple Music playlist, man?
I mean, there's a lot. That's why
Mix in the underground guy for the fifth. Mix in the underground guy.
I'm gonna say this is dude named Sylvan LaQ.
Where do you know where he's from?
He's from Miami, Florida.
Oh, for real?
Miami, yeah.
Silver NQ?
Sylvan LaQ.
NQ.
Yeah.
Okay. There's another guy, underground guy from Miami. I listened to. He's more of a rapper. He was on that. List or the freshman class thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was on one of those. The name gonna come to me, but he's an underground guy.
Yeah, this is a good thing. Is like with the underground guys, like it's as you know, as a musical person, like who would you tell the audience to check out that they might not have heard of? I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Sylvan McHugh would be a guy.
Now, when you see how we had this topic, right? Because they had a question about Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole. They're all thinking about retiring around the same time. They all, they were talking about it in various different and things, and they were like, okay, various different podcasts and interviews, and they were like, okay, who's going to take over for those three guys, right? Now, in different eras, like in my era growing up, I could have named 5 guys, current guys, in 5 seconds. Lil Wayne, T.I., Pussy, whatever, whoever was hot at that current time, right? But now it seems like, and just talking about mainstream, it do seem like a struggle when you get past the Drake's, Cole, Kendrick, when you get past that
Tier of guys.
that tier of guys that are aging out or choosing to age out, right? Like, who is it going to be JID? Is he strong enough to really like take over a Drake type of title? I don't think so. He is a dope artist though, but I couldn't name any. I don't think Lil Baby has what it takes. I know he's close to the status, but I don't think the art is there.
I mean, yeah, no, for sure. And music evolves too at the end of the day too, because the music we was listening to 10 years ago is not the same.
It's
now.
it's
already like evolving.
Yeah, it's already. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
which kind of just
like maybe
changes.
maybe Black is going to be the next evolution to what.
Well, I was going to say your answer is not necessarily going to be known because it could be what music evolves to in the next couple of years,
Yeah.
and it's a sound that maybe it's not really there right now.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
it's something that evolves, and then that becomes what drives the next,
Wave,
tier of guys.
Yeah, maybe.
I really, when you mentioned that, though, I really think that's probably the way. When you mentioned actually, but you're like, yeah, you kind of, that's the next thing. Like, it's going to be the thing that we haven't quite heard yet, and
But
then
I
hits
think
us.
even with that answer, because that's the answer every time, every era. But we know the next guys that's coming. Like when we were coming out of the JayZ in those guys' era, we knew that Lil Wayne and those guys were coming. Like you knew, and the problem is I can't even identify these guys. Like I don't know exactly. I think I don't know.
I think I would say there's a couple of factors to that. Like, and we've talked about it many times. Like what Drake has done with his just productivity and omnipresent essence, like that's different. That's not like you're sitting there. Was that like Michael Jackson? Like, what is this like? And so that's part of it. Like, how do you replace that?
Yeah.
You know, it's different. Not just musically, it's just different the way he's crafted the whole career. And I think that's something that is hard to say. Oh well, somebody else is going to do that for sure. And then the other thing I was going to say, don't underestimate like the significance of social media. You know, like social media like wasn't around with JayZ and Wayne like that.
Yeah,
it's like how people create and build and enhance their brand through social media, not just the music. Like what do they do that makes it even bigger, you know, with the way they utilize social media and things they do. That's another factor to it to get to that crazy high level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A blessing and a curse.
For sure. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink. We have hip hop artists in Abson. All right, that is Abson. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, don't forget a period behind that too.
Okay. Period behind. This is what I'm going to do because I know you wanted to mention the merchandising website, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give you a minute and a half. I'll give you a little flexibility here, but it's really supposed to be a minute, right? And you're going to do your own commercial for your website and for your merchandise, right? And then we'll have our editor come behind and actually put it on there and clip it out so you can put it out to your people, okay? So, but let me get the timer ready, all right? So
Bubba never has the timer ready at all.
You need to be thinking right now exactly how you're going to come off and say this because I'm going to cut you off sharp now. You have to be ready for these type of
Speaking
things.
of the timer, we haven't had a good F, Marry, Kill in a while.
We haven't. I have a good Coach Pink today, though.
Good.
Started
Good.
Coach Pink. All right, are you ready?
Why not? Let's get it.
Go.
Yo, what's going on? ABSO1 in the building. Don't forget a period behind that too. Listen, go on and go to mzoworldwide.com/Abson where you could get some merchandise from me. Look at right here. I got the I don't know if I should stand or something like that. I got the
standing
jacket
works
on right here. And also on the back you get the I can show it on here too actually. I got the shirt. So you got the back here with all the world tours. So all the fans that I accumulated from each of these countries right here are in the back of it, but with the embroidery in the front. Abson music, and you got the jacket right here with my face on it, and also kind of the same kind of vibe. So, y'all go to mzoworldwide.com/Abson. Again, shout out to Andre Black, MZO Worldwide, for providing me with it. 100% cotton on both of these things. We got Afterpay, so you could just have a payment plan on all of it. It's about like $29 for the shirts, $60 for the hoodies. But again, Afterpay, you could just pay it like, by portions. So definitely check it out. Get you a little Abson, you already need. Get a little Abson in your life, you already know. This is my first ever merch. Come and support. Shout out to the fam, you already know. Peace.
I like it.
Dope.
Good.
Well, 10 seconds to spare. That's good, man.
Good.
Yeah. So you're just starting this merch journey, right?
Yes, for sure, man.
Yeah. But it's looking good.
I like it.
Appreciate it.
Now let me ask you this. How old are you?
23.
You're 23. That is young. Is that how you're doing the albums? By your age?
Well, yeah, it just became a thing. Like it just became a thing. It wasn't really a plan. It was just kind of just became a thing.
No, yeah. I was wondering. It just caught on. 24 is going to be a big one now.
For the record, I suspected that from the beginning.
Did you?
Oh hell yeah.
Oh
yeah. So he's 21, 22, 23. Like, what are you doing?
You're a little quicker than me. That's all.
For sure.
Mental dexterity.
For sure.
I have it. Others on this panel do not.
Now, I don't know how to phrase this question, but as you're going on in this journey, right, on this hip-hop journey, is there a backup plan for Abson, or are you all out?
All out or all in?
All in.
I'm all in. For the most part, I'm all in. For the most part, it's just I've already done the school thing. I did it for a little while. It was cool, but you know, I'm all in for the music right now. I just want to push my brand and push to become one of the biggest artists you know, you will ever see. So that's the plan.
So that being the plan, remove the words "for the most part" going forward. Just be all in.
All right, going
Don't
forward.
waste those for the most part. No.
Yeah,
You're all in.
Yeah, I'm all
10
in.
toes in. Let's
10
be
toes
there.
down. All right. Yeah, I'm 10 toes down. ABSON, y'all will know the name very, very soon all around the world.
I like it.
That's it, man. That's it.
Good.
All right, so let's have a little fun here. Then we're going to get back and we're going to talk some sports here, but there's a little sports in here too. So we do a starter bench with Coach Pink, all right? So we give Pink 60 seconds to talk about some of the trending topics that are happening in sports, music, and entertainment, all right? And then, we'll be able to comment in between and tell him where he's crazy and where he's not, all right? All right, so let me bring it up here.
Don't hold back if you think I'm crazy.
All right, that.
All right. Now, some of these this week is kind of tough for you to see, Pink. So I'm going to really have to
explain them a bit.
Yeah. Explain them a bit. It's not a problem. I got my clock ready already because we just did the merchandise commercial
Promo.
with Abson. Yeah, promo. All right. So first on the docket, I'll give you Mother's Day. Start a bench.
I have a mother, so we'll go Mother's Day. Mom gets a rare start.
Okay.
Usually I bring her off the bench.
All right.
Because we've been doing this show every year, this is a little twist, right?
Okay.
This is an interesting Facebook post that got a lot of pub. Is it okay for your boyfriend to buy his baby mother flowers and get her hair and nails done for Mother's Day?
Is it okay for your baby?
For your boyfriend,
Your
is it
boyfriend.
okay? All right, so he's of course not posing this question to you. They're posing this
Correct.
question to a girl, whatever
get-
girl, to get his baby mama, his baby mother.
Oh, so you're in a relationship with this guy,
Yes.
but he's got a prior baby mama,
Yeah.
and he's going to go all in for her. What, now what's
Flowers and hair and nails done.
it?
Is that inbounds or out of bounds?
I would think that that's a little bit out of bounds. Because I'm not saying it's like you're not banging her, it's not that intimate, but it's like nails and flowers. Those are things that you do for somebody that you're with. You could come up with a nice gesture. You can get a gift. You can, just kind of do something like send her to a spa. Actually, I think would be maybe like whatever. I'll watch the kid today, and you get to go get a whatever massage or whatever facial from another guy, whatever it takes. I think that that's kind of the move. But like the flowers is a little like personal. I think, and if that's your thing, like I would be a little bit like, you need to do flowers. I mean, like, come on.
What's your thing, Ab?
Yeah, I do kind of agree with Brian on that one. It's a little bit too extreme, that whole entire scenario. Like, nah, that's something you do with the person you're with. I'd rather, just let's keep it simple. Yeah, like you said, watch the kid for the day. Just chill with them for a minute and just let them have their day to themselves. All right, yeah, do you?
Time. All right, that's a good one. All right, let's go here next. We'll go with let's go with JJ Redick. Start a bench.
I got to start this. I think I know what this is, and
yeah. So, surprisingly for a lot, including me, JJ Redick was interviewed for the Toronto Raptors head coaching job. All right, first round, along with 4 other candidates here. What do you think about it? You think JJ could be a good coach?
Before, I think he was still playing. He came on a show, it might have been NBA TV or one of those, and he was talking basketball, and it struck me. I'm like, this guy could coach. I didn't know what his inclinations were or post-career desires, but I was like, this guy can coach. But selfishly, I love the content he gives us as a podcaster, and it's insightful and it's great. And I was talking to somebody today about this. If he coaches, I'm going to wish him the best of luck because I like him, but I'm going to miss what he gives us content-wise and perspective. So it's kind of like, oh man, little mixed emotions on that. But I think he could be successful in both.
Think so, Ab?
Yeah, no. Well, being a fan of the Magic, when I was younger, like one of my first experiences watching the Magic when I was like 9 years old, JJ Redick was on the team. So, yeah, his his seasoned veteran, experience, combined with his dope podcast and what he's been doing on what is it, First Take? Him coming on First Take.
Yep.
I think it's in the workings of a good coach. Like, he could be a good coach, but yes, we would get less of him. Like, just like Steve Kerr, because I enjoyed Steve Kerr as a commentator.
I did too.
Yeah,
Very good.
That's
Very
true.
good. Yeah.
That is a good example there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? If I'm him though, I know Toronto actually reached out to JJ. But if I'm JJ, I would prefer that Milwaukee job. Like, I'm calling them up over Toronto.
Probably.
I mean, Toronto's not a bad job. It's not the worst job in the world. You got some things over there.
No.
But
I just wonder how it came about. Like, if they just reached out to him out of the blue, or whether he's kind of let it be known that he might be interested. I don't know. But if they just kind of shot in the dark, let's reach out to JJ and see what's up. They're the first ones to do it. And I do think, like, the fact that this story broke, it will be interesting to see, does this get other teams, maybe in Milwaukee or others, considering him as a head coach candidate?
All right, time. All right, so let's go here. Let's go with Lil Boosie. Start a bench.
Go ahead, we'll start him.
All right, so Designer got into a lot of trouble on the plane. He's a rapper from New York, and basically he got in trouble for indecent exposure. He was on a plane, and it was rumored that he, got sexually aroused and wanted to take care of himself on the plane, and he has since checked himself to get mental health help because he has a problem. He says with that, and Boosie.
So that kind of means that happened before.
And Boosie says that he's definitely jacked off on the plane many times. He says if he's on a long flight, and things get to going, he got to go take care of himself, but he does it in the bathroom, not in front of everybody else on the plane.
Well, I was going to say, like, you really got to look at this and, like, what is the context of him exposing himself? I mean, people jerk off on planes. It's something that happens. I
had no idea.
Really? You're so naive. Like, again, a long flight, you're sitting there, maybe you're listening to something erotic, and away you go. What about the Mile High Club? I mean, people bang on planes.
I didn't know that.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I had no
You
idea.
never heard of the Mile High Club?
Denver?
No, the Mile High
Broncos?
Club is when you bang somebody in an airplane in the sky.
No.
Then you're a member, so you're not a member. This guy, you
I'm not
believe
a
him?
member.
Wow. And I haven't even been on planes in a long time either.
Right.
So I kind of
Well, you're probably, last time you were on a plane, you probably weren't of age to participate.
Yeah, no, I was a kid.
Well, now you got something in front of you to look forward to.
Yeah, something like that.
Literally.
It's something like
Literally in front of you.
that. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know, but
You may not want to fly Spirit. That bathroom's a little small. There.
charge you $30 to bring a condom. More than your bag.
That's time. That's time.
All
That's
right,
time.
yeah.
All right. Let's go with I want to see how should I say this. Sex game. Start a bench.
How could we not start? Jeez.
So a man was rescued.
First name on the team sheet.
I know, right? A man was rescued out of a forest after a sex game went wrong. So this man was left tied up by a woman he met online. Shout out to online dating. We talked about it in the past. It's getting dangerous out here. Wow. Apparently.
we already had the Craigslist killer, so I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
So this man, he met a woman online dating, and she talked him into this sex game with a group of people. And
there's a group of people.
yeah, it was she tied him up. And first of all, he's 51. So shout out to this guy. He's still trying to get it in. 51 years old. Was rescued.
I'm 51, you jackass.
Wow.
He was rescued unharmed by a biker and a hunter who heard him screaming. He was fully dressed and bound with ropes and tights over his head on top of a deer hunting platform.
Wow. Wow.
They were
Deer
about
hunting.
to do some
That
crazy
doesn't-
things out there.
But they weren't.
Huh?
I think they just duped him out there to make him look like an idiot.
Yeah, that does sound like
Like,
that.
what were they gonna do? Like, come back in
for
2
sure.
days and
Yeah.
have him eat some snapper? I mean,
Yeah.
like that's bizarre.
Sounds like
I
a
want to
dude.
know more about the game. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
a sex game to just drag some unwitting guy into the forest and leave him on a deer stand. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
abusive elders.
Yeah, it does sound like that for sure.
Just sounds like
Where's the sex part?
sounds like a bad prank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely a bad prank. Mislabeled a sex game.
Oh man.
That'd be, dude. That would be pretty bad.
Deer platform.
And I'm not good in the woods or around animals.
Mhm.
That would be really bad for me.
Yeah, no, I understand completely. I'm not an animal person.
No. I mean, God forbid you're out there like a bear comes wandering around.
Oh
or
man, and you
something.
can't move. you
Oh
can't-
no,
Nah.
that would be horrible.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no thank you.
Ty, let's quick. Speaking of bears,
What does she deserve?
what does she deserve?
Should she be arrested?
Yeah, like kidnapping guy. I mean, yeah, I don't, Yeah, I guess there should be a penalty. I hadn't thought much about it. I mean, do we want to be creative and we'll create a sex game for her? With a little bit of a different ending, you know? We want you to lick the scrotum of a bear. I mean, why not?
Whoa.
Something.
That's different.
I know you had something you was going to, but that's time. We got to move
All
on.
right,
But-
all
all right. Tupac started bench.
Oh, first.
All right.
We got Mom, we got Tupac, we got all these immediate starts.
I know, right?
All right.
So of course we got the Dear Mama show going on. I got to catch up.
Is
on
it? It's out now.
It's out now on Hulu.
Hulu.
Yeah, it's out now on Hulu,
for sure.
and it's all rave reviews. They're saying this is the best because we've had some pretty bad Tupac biopics in the past.
All eyes on me, for sure.
That
was
different
trash.
Things. And they're saying this is the best by far. It's not even really a Tupac biopic. It's more so about his mom and that relationship he had with his mom. And of course, people who don't know, his mom was an activist, a lot of other things. And so it's about that relationship. But this particular topic is the director of that show said that Tupac would have would have given Denzel Washington stiff competition in acting if he didn't pass. He was right up there, parallel on the level of Denzel. Do you guys remember the movies Tupac were in? Do you think that's crazy or not?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, you can go ahead if you need to.
No, he was magnetic.
Yeah.
Like as a performer and as an actor, he was just a captivating person. When he had, I mean, and that's the beginning of being a great actor. Like, you are just captivating, and people want to see you. People hang on your words, and they embrace the journey of the story you're telling. And he had that. I mean, if he kept at it and played, some different roles at different times, there's no reason at all. I mean, fuck, like some of these other schmucks like Will Smith has made a good actor.
Yeah, nah, for
Like,
sure.
seriously.
No, for sure.
I mean, Tupac is infinitely more talented.
Oh yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a complete fact. I would say I see it from both sides. So I could see it from perspective of they do think he will give Denzel Washington a run for his money because he was already trying to do diversified roles before he passed, and you could already see it with the one movie that he did with what is her name?
Janet Jackson?
Well, Poetic Justice for sure. That was one of them. But there was a couple movies that he did before he passed that were definitely different from what we would have thought he would have done. And, that would have given Denzel a run for his money. But you also have the fact that a lot of his most notable roles are stuff that we kind of could see him already play. So, Juice, his most notable. We already know he could play that. I mean, Above the Rim.
Yeah.
Are you? Yeah, we already know that Tupac is going to play that kind of role. And there was a few others that I even heard that he had like a Star Wars thing that he was about to do too. Like he got the role, but he passed away before he could take it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I and as a rapper yourself, I don't know. I've always felt that like a lot of rappers would have the capacity to act, and a lot have made a transition. But I think in the art of rapping, you're selling something. You're selling stories. You're selling a persona, and I think that's something that I almost feel like you're already halfway to acting if you're a good rapper. And I saw it in Tupac. You've had your Ice Cubes and Ice T's and all these different guys have done that. I always thought that if Eminem focused on it, he would be very good as an actor. It's just something about like high level rappers that have this capacity to just like hold your attention and just mesmerize you. And I think that it's a fairly decent transition. I mean, Will Smith came from that lane as well. I mean, to be true. But I think there's something to that. I don't know. Like, as a rapper, do you feel that you have like a magnetic quality when you're doing it?
Oh yeah, no, it's I never really thought about it before until you actually just kind of get into it. It's kind of like, oh yeah, like I'm performing, I'm doing my thing already, and you know that. So the acting part is kind of like, oh yeah, this is not as bad as I thought it would be, because it's all aspects of entertainment, you know, and I'm a fan of all of it. So to be able to act in something, that would be fire. It would be awesome. And music videos are kind of like a little airspace like of acting, because you're like going in within each scene and kind of like trying to like make that come to life.
And you did the Urkel thing in your other video.
Urkel thing, yeah.
That was really cool.
That was
cool.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite sitcom of all time. So you know, I got to do that.
And you pulled it off.
Yeah.
Whose idea was that?
It was a combination of the videographer that ended up shooting it, Mines. Shout out to Mines. He actually came up with the idea of yo, you should do the Stephen Laura thing, the Urkel Family Matter. But then my manager also, Andre, he also was like, yo, let's add Myra to this, because it was supposed to be Stephen Laura, just us two. But then he said, yo, add Myra, and I was like, all right, because they both had that whole thing, and then he would take some scenes from the actual show, and we would kind of like reenact some of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be cool.
Nice.
That was dope. Yeah, that definitely was dope. All right, now these last couple, I'm just gonna run off, and if you have a comment on it, you can say something. So Robert De Niro, 79 years old, he's welcoming his 7th child at 79.
He won't see that kid reach 10 years old.
Oh my God.
He's gonna be 89 years old.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing. I can't say nothing about that.
Yeah. Dad, let's play catch. I broke my hip and I can't get up.
Hey. Congratulations.
Yeah, facts.
It's credit to him for firing live rounds at that age.
Ex-Raiders, of course, Henry Ruggs, he pled guilty in that from that fatal DUI case. He's going to serve 3 to 10 years in Nevada State Prison. I
hate stories with stupid long like range of sentence.
Oh, 3 to 10. That's yeah.
Tell me what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Somebody knows better than 3 to 10.
Oh yeah.
Just say,
for sure.
I mean, and again, legally for this offense, the sentence can be 3 to 10 years. But give me something real based on the high profile of this case. We're probably looking at 5 to 7. Like, give some content. Just 3 to 10 years. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's just stupid. I mean, give it some. You know, okay, he's had a clean record. He's showing some remorse. We're probably looking at 3 years. But you get a headline by saying 3 to 10 years.
3 to 10.
Hate that crap.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is stupid. It's silly. If it's 3-4 years, you think he has a chance to get back
to playing?
Yeah.
If he stays fit, he's young enough that somebody might, invite him to camp or try him out or work him out.
Because he's younger than Vic. When Vic.
Yeah. Well, Vic was a year, or was it more?
Vic did like a year or two. Yeah.
A year or two. But 3 to 4 years, it's tough to say because you just don't like. Okay, you get to work out in the yard, I guess, but you're not doing football stuff. Like I don't, it's hard to imagine a guy. Being able to return to that. But again, like Michael Vick, there's no greater redemption story than to do that. I mean, the reality is the most likely scenario is he serves his time, maybe gets a camp invite or a workout invite and kick the tires and say, is there players still here? I don't know. Most likely not. And then he goes and tries to live the rest of his life in whatever way he can. But the redemption story is Vic. I mean, because he came back and played pretty well, and then he kind of got to change the perspective. I mean, he got to show he was remorseful and he had grown as a man, and all that's kind of impressive. So I don't know if Ruggs will have that opportunity.
Yeah.
But you hope. It was clearly an act of stupidity, and it's clearly worthy of criminal punishment, but it's also not necessarily the sort of crime that indicates somebody beyond repair as a man. It's something that if he chooses to, he can grow from and have a positive outcome.
Exactly.
It's not like he's, raping people or murdering people and those sort of things that, if you go that far, you're lost. I mean, I think that there's still a lane where he could grow from this tragic error and make something of the rest of his life. But that's in his hands.
I agree with that.
Sure.
All right, that was pretty fun there. Started bench with Coach Pink. Once again, you guys are on the Bench Podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. I pretty much agree with all that stuff, man. That was good. Usually I disagree with quite a few. All right. Now you are a basketball fan, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you play?
No.
No.
Nah, I'm not. I know the basics, but I'm not anything like that. Nah,
Yeah,
for sure. I used to want to be a basketball player when I was younger, so I played basketball a lot. But
Okay.
When
when music came into the picture, I kind of just took that a step back. I was like, you know what? Let me just focus on music.
So what is your favorite team now?
I'm a Florida fan, so like when I was 9, I started watching basketball. So like 2009, 2008 season, I was a big Florida fan. So Orlando and Miami.
Yeah,
I was a
Miami.
fan around the same time. My mom was a big fan of Miami, so
Yeah.
I kind of just converted pre-LeBron, and then Orlando. They were just on their way to the finals that year.
Exactly.
Is mom from South Florida?
No, she's from Haiti. So
okay.
my whole family's from Haiti, but they came down to Florida. Maybe a little bit in their younger years, not teenager, but.
But did they come to Central Florida or did they go South Florida and move up here?
Orlando.
Okay.
Orlando
cool.
for the most part.
So why the hell she like the Heat?
I don't know. She liked Dwayne Wade, so it's like
okay.
she liked Dwayne Wade, and I was just like, oh yeah, I'll become a fan too.
That's
Bubba
unfortunate.
has a long-standing beef with Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't like Dwayne.
Wow.
It's not my guy.
Yeah, all right, we gotta talk about that.
We could talk about the Heat, but not Dwayne Wade. We'll talk about a guy who's better, Jimmy Butler. And they're going up against the Knicks. The Knicks are actually up a couple points right now. Currently, they're up 7 with about 8 minutes to go. But the Heat have a commanding control over this series for the most part. And it's 3-1, right? Yeah, it's
3-1, yeah.
It's 3-1. Heat up 3-1.
This game's in New York, though, right?
It is in New York.
Yeah.
So they're fighting for their lives at home, trying to extend the series. Miami will probably close out at home. That's how a lot of these things go. All right, so you got after the last game, Julius Randle said maybe the Heat players wanted more. It's talking about those hustle plays, rebounds, and stuff like that. Seems like the Heat was getting their hands on all of them. But what does this say? What does this run right here say about the Heat, about Jimmy Butler, things like that? What do you think?
Well, that statement, maybe they're just out hustling you, and I saw that game. They were just out hustling you in a general sense. So I would say it just shows that they're well coached. They're well coached and they're prepared for these kind of moments. Because everybody thought after that play-in they would be like, they weren't really gonna do anything, and I didn't really think they had a chance against the Bucks either. Because I counted them out too, but hey, the playoffs are different from the season. Teams come different, things become different, and they were able to rally off of their best player. And we already know how he is in the playoffs, how he can turn it up and really just make an impact. And then the whole team has been stepping up under his wing. So yeah. I'm really enjoying it. That was really enjoyable. It's been really enjoyable and beautiful to watch. And they have a chance. They might have a shot at least at maybe a trip to the finals. Maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think again it was a couple of years ago, but I think when once they got the momentum in the Milwaukee series, you are going to channel back to those vibes from the bubble and say, we know how to do this. Mm-hmm. This is familiar territory. And the Heat have looked, and I watched the first 2 play-in games, and I didn't think they looked good. But they have just looked very good since then. They look like they're completely comfortable in this situation. And, credit to them. Jimmy's the type of guy you need in the playoffs, and the famous Heat culture. It's like it's built on these moments. Yeah. When you're in the playoffs and you play well.
Absolutely.
No, it really is. But my bigger take is what a disappointment this is for New York. A lot of hype coming in, especially into the series, because Miami was banged up. No hero, no Jimmy for a game. You lose against the Heat. Brunson he's been good this series. He hasn't been really good or anything. He's not to blame. Randall and the other kid from
Barrett.
Yeah,
Barrett.
RJ.
Barrett.
They haven't really lived up to it. I mean, Randall is really, it's hard to figure out what's the best part of his game because during the season he shoots a lot, but sometimes he's on. But he has a size advantage over most of the Heat guys outside of Bam. You would think he's.
Couple quick thoughts on this. Number one, we earlier in the show we're talking about Julius Randle being on the third team All NBA. The fact that he's really not the best player on his team or even the catalyst player on his team really, to me, invalidates his selection as All NBA third team because he's not. Jalen Brunson, for better or worse, is the dominant heartbeat figure on this Knicks team. Right. Mm-hmm. Then we move to the Knicks. If at the start of the playoffs, if you'd say we win the first round and we lose the second round, you probably would take it. You don't go into these playoffs figuring you're going to beat the Bucks. If we beat Cleveland, who's talented and whatever, that's a win for us. And then whatever happens with the Bucks, we go out on fighting. So really, in a big picture, you step back and say, this is not disappointing at all. This is about what we should expect from the Knicks. The fact, though, that it ends up being the Heat and they go a game without Jimmy, you feel there's a bigger opportunity there than there was at the outset of the playoffs, and that's going to give you a sense of disappointment or opportunity lost.
It is. Yeah. It is. And you take a look at that team, it's like, what can you do to improve that team? It's not a lot. It's not a lot you can do. You're locked into Julius. You're locked into
the pathway,
Bronson.
though, would be if they've done enough that they've kind of had some trend of success, which has really been absent for many, many years, that they can attract somebody that wants to play there and will force their way there.
But they haven't.
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that can change.
Well,
if I had to bet, I don't think it's gonna. But that's the only thing that could change.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I agree with that. I'll say this. I mean, on a positive realm. Stealing Jalen Brunson from Dallas, that was a big move, and that was a very impactful move. So I got a shout out New York on that. That's a big offseason move that they were able to make that impacted their team, and they're in the second round right now. So they should be happy about that, like you said. Within these circumstances, thinking about what you just said, with the Heat and their injuries and everything going on, and I saw that game too, even though they won that game. They barely won the game. Yeah. The Heat were leading. Like the Heat, you could just tell who wants it more. Like within this series. So I mean, New York. Again, they've had a lot of issues like for the past millennium. I think not even millennium. I would say because for a long time. Since a long time. I can't even front. So their front office. Their front office moves and them getting all these players, they've never been successful for the most part. The fumble on Carmelo, we didn't forget about that. Right. And then, all the other stuff, all the Porzingis failure, all that. We remember all that. So is it really a surprise, with New York? No, it's not at this point. And what keeps them alive is that their fan base and their big market. It's
really the big market.
The big market.
The notion that there's something special about being in New York.
Yeah, that's
and I've been to New York, and it's a dump.
Yeah.
It's just
I went to New York for the first time last year, yeah.
But here's as presently constituted, what playoff series, what playoff opponent, East or West, could the Knicks match up with where they have the best player in the series?
Maybe Hawks.
Maybe. That's my point.
Yeah.
Like you can't expect to go that far.
Most people still pick Trey. I would still probably pick Trey over Jalen. I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah,
about
but you
it.
said it's a maybe.
Yeah.
And that's the only one.
And that's the only
like
one.
you go down the line with these other teams, and they've got one and maybe two guys better than your best guy.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say that you should have much more expectation than what you're delivering.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll give them this though. I was going for Cleveland in that series, so for them to actually do what they did to Cleveland, it kind of just gave me some. Oh, wait, maybe New York does have something in the tank, And you would think, they would keep that same energy with Miami or whoever they were going to face next, and then that hasn't really been the case. How do you got the best B rebounders on your team, and then the Miami players are just out rebounding you all throughout that fourth quarter, that last game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thought. Like, wow, So I mean, but again, they should, like you said, they shouldn't be disappointed because again, it's been an all right season, and and the big market got what they wanted as far as like them being in the playoffs and all the celebrities that come out for New York. I never saw the hype. I've never been to New York before, so that's just me coming off of just seeing the whole flashing light New York situation, just like LA.
It's not the same since they cleaned up like the little 42nd Street area.
Yeah.
I went to an amazing peep show there.
Peep show?
Yeah.
So,
I don't think I've ever been to a peep show.
It's basically like being in the studio, but on the other side of that window, instead of SG, there's like a chick doing the stuff you want her to do.
that's crazy.
Call me crazy.
And then she like goes away, and then
Well, yeah, it show like no, the window like kind of like
the window
closes
curtains, and then
when your show's
another
over.
woman will appear.
Well, if you stay there and pay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I feel that. That's different.
It's back when I was in college, man. Those are good times.
Okay, yeah, I've never been to one of those.
Yeah,
But yeah, so that's that series for sure.
yeah.
Mhm. Sure.
Another tidbit from the city: some of my actual currency was used to buy cocaine.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
you didn't partake.
Hell no.
No.
I didn't know that. I didn't know what that guy, the guy I was with, he was like, hey man, how much money you got? And I told him, let me get it. And then he went and bought cocaine. I didn't realize what I was doing.
Wow.
You're an accomplice.
Yeah.
Wow.
But hey, he died of an overdose later, not that night.
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Rest in peace.
This the Denver Nuggets and Philadelphia 76ers are the new title favorites. They came in with two of the lowest title odds, and now they're the title favorites. Do you think that should be the case right now?
Yeah, I mean, if you just do the math, they Philly's up on Boston presently as we sit here, and they have a home game. You would favor them over the Heat or the Knicks on that side of it. Denver maybe a little bit less certain in the sense that, like, if you really believe the Lakers, then maybe I think Denver's just better than Phoenix. I'll be shocked if they lose the series, personally, I think it's more of a toss-up with Denver and the Lakers. I don't know who's going to win that series. I don't have like a strong feeling either way.
Yeah.
So, as far as that goes, maybe Philadelphia is the overall favorite, or should be.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've never trusted the process. I'm gonna say that right now. I never trust.
wow.
I've never trusted.
Do you know
the
who
process.
you're here with?
Yeah.
This is like
Trust the process.
the messenger boy of the process. Right?
I mean, yeah. If it's not Allen Iverson, I'm not really a Philly fan like that. So,
Okay.
so I'm just gonna say again, I never really trusted the process because the inconsistencies throughout the last a lot of these playoff runs. So you would see Philly, and you would see they would be the favorites, but then some kind of mishap would happen, and then boom. Like, and we saw these. How many years have we been seeing that?
Pretty much every year Ben Simmons was there.
Yeah, pretty much.
And now you remove him. Now what do you have?
What do you have? Last year.
Title favorite.
Yeah, but then you look at last year. They didn't have Ben Simmons on the team.
No, but Harden was coming in on half a year. He was still hurt from the Brooklyn thing. Whether you believe that or not, I don't know, but you could see it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that was the thing there. But no, when you look at it and you say, okay, is when a team doesn't have previous success, like Golden State has previous success, right? You can kind of you bank on them until they lose. But when it's a new team that hasn't done it, that's fair. If you're not a fan, of course, especially if you're going to be putting money on anything, that's
sure.
fair to say, hey, if they haven't done it, I'm gonna wait until they do it. And then
really-
every year they don't do it, you're like, hey, I was right.
I gotta see it to believe it for
gotta
real.
see it to
I gotta
believe
see
it.
it to believe
That's
it
fair.
because like
Yeah.
Philly.
Yeah, I mean, since the Sixers came out of the process and became a playoff caliber team, there's always been there's always been something promising about the performance that teases you, but ultimately disappointment.
Yeah, second round flame
in the playoffs.
We haven't been past the second round since 2001.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thought to put in perspective. That's why I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
but again, I mean, and in particular, Boston has always been a big part of the failure. And if they win this series, there's going to be like
That
a
means
mental
something, man.
catharsis.
Yeah, moving forward.
That like, hey, we took care of Boston. We got this elephant off our back. Like, let's go. Let's win
Goliath.
this thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Goliath, the elephant.
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody's fat mama.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Boston has been their biggest obstacle.
Yeah.
They've been their biggest obstacle for sure. I mean, again, I'll give Philly this. They are a talented team for sure. Again, James Harden's inconsistencies aside, Joel Embiid is a talented player. So a talented player, MVP for sure. He deserved it for sure. But again, I just have to wait and see what happens in that series. If you're just talking the Denver series, I do agree. It's like the Nuggets are a better team. They have more assets. Phoenix, they need to rebuild the roster in the offseason because they don't have enough of a team to beat Denver. If they do beat Denver, cool. Beat Denver, cool. Because I'm a big Chris Paul fan, so I was a Chris Paul fan growing up. So again, it would be cool to finally, see him get one after all the chokes he had. But again, it probably won't happen. And if Denver comes out of that series, I do believe LA is the more ready team for that championship run. I don't think Denver is ready yet. I still think it's going to.
Denver has not had the high level success. They've been in the playoffs for a number of years now, but they haven't broken through. And that's that point you're making. It's like we're not going to believe it until we see it.
Yeah. They got it's similar story to Philly. Yeah. I do think they have a better team than the Lakers.
I agree.
The problem is I think their advantage won't be an advantage over the Lakers, which is the
advantage they enjoy over most teams.
Yeah, over most teams.
It's not going to be a significant.
I think the Lakers are going to feel safe with saying, okay, AD on Jokic 1-on-1, and we'll figure everything else out.
Yeah,
I think they feel okay with that. Now, whether Jokic dominates that matchup, if and when it does happen, that's another thing. But I think the Lakers are going to feel comfortable with that.
But
particularly
the way AD is played, you have to feel comfortable.
And they're going to count on AD to dominate Jokic on that because Jokic is a bad defender. They're going to have to exploit that matchup.
Yeah, they're going to.
Yeah, so
they will, if that ever comes about. But
if he shows up every game, if he does this every other game thing, you can't do that with Denver because they are the better team.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, you can't.
Yeah,
definitely not. But it's very interesting. I'd say this is probably one of the most interesting playoffs I've seen in a while.
It is, because we don't know.
Because we really don't know.
and I don't like that.
You don't like
I don't like that. I like super teams. I like standards that that's where we got to get to.
I feel you.
I don't feel them.
Yeah, no. I know you don't.
Yeah, but nah.
I don't like a crapshoot.
I like it, though. I like it. I'm liking that vibe. It's just cool. Like you really don't know. It's like who's really gonna come out? Who would have thought? Again, a team that lost a play-in to a team worse than them would be in the second round right now, 3-1. That
is a little wild.
That's wild, and then
they lost. They got their asses whooped by the Hawks.
I know.
Yeah, by the Hawks.
I watched the game.
Yeah, I saw that game too.
I'm like, I did not see this coming. It just everything broke right for them, and they've responded, and that's the thing. Like once you get going, like you people become tough to beat.
Oh yeah,
they believe in themselves. They're together. Like we're talking, the Warriors aren't.
They're together.
Yeah, and that's one of those assets you have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's been interesting. The Lakers. Again, remember they were like a play. We didn't even expect the Lakers to do what they've been doing right now. They're not. They're in the second round of the playoffs. They were not even going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're not even going to make the play-in. So and now they're in the second round. So yeah, I've been liking how this has been going. Like you don't really know what to expect, and you really don't know who's going to be a clear winner. But yeah, it's fun, and that's what made NBA so fun back in the day, right? It just no clear winners, no. But again, there were super teams, obviously.
Yeah, certain eras.
Certain eras.
What area you're talking about.
That's like when I started watching, it was the Lakers and the Celtics, and then eventually like the Pistons had to find their way past the Celtics, and then the Bulls had to find their way past the Pistons.
Yeah, that's a little different. Like I didn't enjoy that Golden State team with KD. I didn't enjoy.
I enjoyed it.
I know you
hated
it,
but I did.
Yeah.
Because but like those teams, Detroit had to find a way to defeat those teams. Golden State ended on like fluke stuff.
No, I'm still bitter about that. I've said that many times.
Beating that team with KD, there is no Detroit getting over the hill.
Right? No, I get it.
Yeah,
no, I get it.
Nobody was defeating that team, and that's not
for sure
enjoyable.
That is enjoyable.
Well, yeah.
But every year, again, that's the standard. That's what we got to get to.
It's not a standard. You can't get to
I don't want to get a standard. I'm not sure about standards right there.
Eventually, stuff happens, though.
Yeah,
it did.
But it happened like the Lakers 3P team. Like with Shaq and Kobe.
Shaq and
They
Kobe.
were dominant. They were
dominant, but that wasn't what
then-
Golden State was.
No, but then like they went for the Karl Malone, Gary Payton,
Payton thing,
move,
yeah,
and
they
it didn't
did.
quite
They
work
did.
out, and
Yeah.
Malone just breaks down in the finals and they lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of shocking. I'm pissed about it.
But a lot of that was what you're talking about, chemistry. Like the Kobe
Chemistry.
Shaq thing had risen up to the.
yeah.
Well,
And
I
Karl
can't take this
Malone was
motherfucker no
being
more.
his pedophile self.
a part of it was that, but also you got to think about.
Never invite a pedophile into your squad.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah. You got
but
to audit your team. Be careful.
nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I'd say this. People don't think about like the defensive scheme that Detroit had in that series. Like they moved and Kobe even talked about it in that interview with Shaq. It was just like they moved the pressure up to make sure Shaq doesn't get the ball because Shaq was their main problem, not Kobe. So because nobody was gonna stop Shaq in the paint when he gets into that spot. So
Yeah.
So you really gotta admire like the types of defenses that Detroit was able to pull in that aspect.
Elite defense.
Elite defense, and then even going back to the Golden State thing, I would say this: I remember those days, me like looking at the TV screen, seeing the Rockets versus Golden State, and kind of like, what is the Rockets gonna do to finally knock this team out?
Yeah.
Like, and what is it? They were like 1 win away of doing that, and then they
Yeah.
lost
Well,
their best player, Chris Paul.
And again, we talk about nobody's touching that team, but that team damn near did.
Yeah,
That
the
Houston
Rockets,
team.
the Houston team.
And watching that was just because it made a great Warriors team dig deep
They had to
and
yeah.
find a way, and they did. And another way that Chris Paul gets fucked. I mean, we gotta love it.
Oh yeah, I didn't love it obviously.
I know.
Yeah,
but,
he's a Chris Paul fan.
I know.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too. Who didn't? I mean,
Oh yeah, for sure.
you
I mean, for
and
sure.
his family. I mean, that was about it.
Oh yeah, that's a,
Everybody else was thrilled.
oh yeah. I wasn't thrilled, but no, I feel you. It was definitely a cool little thing where Golden State finally looked fragile. They kind of looked fragile.
That's super intriguing. Way more intriguing to me than this that we got going on right now.
I got you.
Speaking of, we were talking about the Hawks a little earlier. Trae Young is mad about his All NBA snub, and that's just ludicrous.
Nah, that's ludicrous. Nah, that's
Sit down, Trae.
cap. Stop.
Yeah, sit
Stop. You're not that good of a player. I'm sorry. Like you are a good player in your own right. You definitely are the leader of the Hawks, but you haven't done enough. You haven't done enough to really prove that you're in that elite group. Giannis's
He's just not respected
yeah.
as that upper tier guy.
No.
That's the thing. Like they recognize that there's talent. They recognize that in a given game he can just catch fire and beat somebody.
For sure.
But there's not that respect of the upper tier of player.
Yeah, I don't respect it at all.
He wanted that super max.
Yeah, why?
If this is about getting the bag, you know how I feel about that.
Hey,
Yeah.
you can get the bag, but bro, how many times you gonna keep doing that
They
step back, bro?
they really should take that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's I don't know. I mean, it just because again, it's not something that any individual player has control over. At the end of the day, guys can get snubbed unjustly.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
you're,
it's
you're
writers.
controlling like the money over that.
Yeah.
That's not
One notably,
Yeah,
I
really
remember.
good.
I remember Clay really got snubbed that one year, and I know there have been others, of course, every year. But
Yeah.
I remember Clay really got snubbed. One
yeah,
time.
and it's
It
it's
was
just not
racist.
something that's in like really anything close to your control.
No.
And it has significant financial consequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're trying to put more rules in it for next year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that kind of just makes me wonder, how do you guys feel about that whole thing where the players are kind of taking more control within that decade, how everything went? Because like now players have more control.
Player empowerment in general.
Yeah, player empowerment in general.
I like it. It's funny because when you kind of go back, in some ways, like you can look at Jordan's career from a perspective that he was, in some ways, like held captive by the Bulls and was underpaid for the majority of his career, and like that's absurd. And so for players to have empowerment to do things, it's right. It's not. You shouldn't have like a slave owner mentality as a team owner. It should be a bit of a collaboration. And you, as an owner, to me, you got to collaborate with the stars of the game, and you got to make your organization attractive to them. It shouldn't just be we have the good fortune of drafting a great player, but we can kind of do whatever the hell we want because we don't have to trade him if we don't want to. We
sure.
we can always pay him a certain amount, and he has to deal with it.
For sure.
I'm okay with player empowerment, but that doesn't mean that there can't be abuse in that side of it too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely.
But I do think when you look at the player empowerment, and LeBron is player empowerment, he's the embodiment of it, and part of his legacy sometimes is some of the things that he did that didn't work out. Players that he wanted or things that he did, Westbrook and stuff like that. You can't separate them from the totality of his legacy, and those are in a lot of ways some of his lowest moments or weaker points on an otherwise amazing resume.
For sure. Absolutely.
Sure. Well, Abson, we've reached the end of the show. Where can these people catch you at? Do you have any performances or shows coming up? What are your IG tags? What can they find you at on the streaming platforms, etc.?
Yeah. Y'all can find me again on all platforms. It's ABSON. Don't forget a period behind that too. If you want to just check out the music on Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, wherever you listen to music. Instagram, Abson Music. So ABSON MU. I mean, you already know how to spell music. I don't have to tell you that.
Let's hope.
Let's hope you do. Abson Music also on Facebook. Abson Music on Twitter. Just follow me. Again, I got more in store. Abson Official on YouTube. I got my new video For You out now. You should definitely go check that out. I got another video called Don't Bother. It's for the single Don't Bother. It's dropping May 21st actually. It's dropping right around the corner. So you guys definitely got to be ready for that. And
what about live performances? Anything coming? I know you're supposed to do something leaving the show tonight, but anything else coming up in the next few weeks?
That's to be continued. Right now I'm trying to see where the market is at right now, but no set shows as of right now.
Okay. But is that something that you will update on like your social media platforms if you got something coming up?
Absolutely.
Cool.
All right, that's cool, man. We'll catch you guys next week on the Bench Podcast. Catch you.
Yes, sir.
Out.